Hi everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I woke up feeling very, very silly and thinking about elephants. Because you know, when I was a little girl, I found out that once upon a time when the earth was new and all the animals could talk to one another, elephants had really small noses, like a pig snout. Oink, 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 oink. But we all know that elephants have really, really long noses called trunks. So how in the world could that have happened? Well, there are different ideas about that. My own personal idea is that elephant had seasonal allergies. So maybe it was springtime and elephant was outside. Uh-oh, elephant started sneezing. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh my goodness gracious. And those sneezes made elephant's nose grow and grow. Do you think that could have happened? I don't know, maybe. You know, there are lots of stories around the world about why elephant has a long nose. They're called pourquoi tales or how and why tales that explain different things in nature. One of the stories from Thailand says that there was a big old raging fire and the elephants didn't know what to do and how to escape. But some bees led them to a big old river and they were able to go into the river and when the fire came across, they were okay, except that the bees were in jeopardy. And so the elephants opened their mouths wide and let the bees come inside. But when the fire was gone, the bees liked it in there. They didn't want to leave. We like it in here. And so elephant, he drank some water and he blew it out of his nose. But the bees stayed. And so elephant drank some more water and blew it out of his nose. But still the bees stayed. So the elephant drank some more water and blew it out of his nose. And finally the bees left. But the elephant's nose stayed very long like it is today. So that's a story from Thailand. But my favorite story is by Rudyard Kipling, and it's called Elephant's Child. And this is how that story goes. Once upon a time, there was a little elephant who had a satiable curiosity. It means he was always asking questions. Do you like to ask questions? You know, my children used to ask questions all the time. How comes the sky is blue? Why is water wet? Why is the sun so bright? But little elephant lived in Africa, and the questions little elephant asked were things like, oh, good morning, Mrs. Giraffe. How come your neck is so long? Well, Mrs. Giraffe, when asked that question, spanked little elephant on his bottom and said, be gone with you. Do not ask such questions. So little elephant went over to Zebra. Hi, Zebra. How come you have such big old stripes? And Zebra spanked little elephant on his bottom, boom, and said, be off with you. Do not ask such silly questions. So little elephant went over to Ostrich. Hi, Mrs. Ostrich. How come you have such silly feathers? Be gone with you, as she spanked him on his bottom and sent him on his way. Well, one day, little elephant started wondering, I wonder what crocodiles eat. That when he asked Mrs. Baboon that question, Mrs. Baboon said, oh, do not ever ask that question. And Mrs. Baboon swatted him on his bottom. And Mrs. Zebra swatted him on his bottom. And Mrs. Giraffe swatted him on his bottom. And his mama swatted him on his bottom. And they all said, never, ever, ever ask that question again. Well, now you gotta know, that just made him more curious than ever. So he went out into the bush looking for a crocodile to ask. Well, he came across a snake. He said, good morning, snake. I'm trying to find out what is it that crocodiles like to eat? Have you seen a crocodile? And the snake swatted him on his bottom and said, go back home and do not ever ask such a question again. Well, now Elephant really had to know. And so Elephant kept on going. And then Elephant came down to a watering hole. And there was this creature laying in the sun beside of it. It was a creature that Elephant had never seen before. And Elephant said, hi, hey, I'm trying to find out, what is it that crocodiles like to eat? And this creature, that was a crocodile, said, oh, I can't hear you. You'd better come a little bit closer so I could hear that question and ask me again. And so little Elephant came closer and said, hi, could you tell me what is it that crocodiles like to eat? Oh, I still can't hear you. Come closer. And so little Elephant came even closer. Hi, could you tell me what is it that crocodiles like to eat? And the crocodile said, crocodiles like to eat baby elephants. And it reached up and it grabbed baby elephant by the nose and it pulled. Ah! And little baby elephant pulled the other way. Let go! And the crocodile pulled this way. And the baby elephant pulled this way. And they pulled and they tugged and they pulled and they tugged and they pulled and they tugged until baby elephant got free, but his nose was so long. I'm gonna be in trouble when Mommy and Daddy find this. Well, he started for home, but he hadn't gone far when he had an itch on his back. He swung his trunk around and, oh, hey, that's a pretty good back scratcher. And then he saw a peanut on the ground, and he put his trunk down, and he was able to pick up that peanut with the ends of his trunk. Wow, that's pretty cool. And then he came to another watering hole, and he drank up some water, and he blew it out of his trunk and took a shower. Wow! He passed some monkeys playing in a tree, and the monkeys waved at him, and he used his trunk to wave back. Hi, monkeys! When he got closer to home, he was so excited about his new long nose that he made a great sound he had never made before, like this. And his mommy and his daddy and his brothers and his sisters and his aunts and his uncles and his cousins too all came running to see what all the commotion was about. And when they saw little Elephant and learned what all they could do with a big old nose like this, all those other elephants wanted big noses too. So little Elephant told them, just go down to the watering hole and Crocodile will help you out. And so that's what they did. One by one, they lined up and let Crocodile pull out their noses so that they could have long trunks as well. And so that is the story by Rudyard Kipling, Elephant's Child. And I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed being silly with me today. And I will look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye!